Okay, after about an hour of wrangling with the box and doing some research online to see what other people have done, I finally managed to get everything inside this box. So everything bar, of course, the playmat now fits quite nicely in here in a way that makes sense and makes me ready to play. So I'll go through and show you how I have organized it. First of all, on top we have the mini instruction guide for the Croft Manor expansion, as well as the two inserts for the dinosaur expansion and the super boss expansion, legendary boss, whatever it's called. So that sits on top, as well, of course, as the how to play guide and the campaign guide. Underneath that, we have the Croft board, the Lara board, so that's folded over like this, with the Chronos and the Craft bench board sitting inside this divot here. So it's important that they sit in this divot in whatever order, and then the folded shorter side of the board fits in that divot with this bit hanging over, because that fits nice and flat. Underneath that is the standard miniatures tray. So everything in here was as it came in the box, but we've also got the tracker cubes in there, and also underneath we have these standard tiles, if I can get these out. These little tokens here, they live under there, because I'm not likely to need them because I have the nice plastic versions, so they live in that tray. Underneath that we have the expansion tray. So here we've got obviously the dinosaurs and the legendary bosses, as well as Winston. We've got the upgraded tracker cubes down here, and then we've got the standard tokens for the resources and the dice. The guide from Iconic Studios originally said this is where you would put your upgraded dice and tokens, but they would not fit in here, not even close. You could maybe fit all the plastic tokens across both containers, but you wouldn't have anywhere to put the dice. So I've put the standard ones in here, so that the actual upgraded components can be in the main box ready to play. Then the bottom is where things get interesting. Things are kind of packed in here in a way that makes sense, but it did take me a few passes to get this right. So obviously the boulder is over there. We have the upgraded dice inside this container here in this bottom right container. And it's also worth mentioning I rotated this 90 degrees clockwise because I found it fit in the box better. That's just how I figured things out. Here are the unopened relics for all of the expansions, so the legendary bosses, the dinosaurs, and then the Croft Manor expansion relics. They all live in here, as well as the standard cards from those expansions, because you do keep those separate, at least to begin with, so they live in that component container. The standard cards all live in the container next to them, as well as the research cards. These will all fit in here a lot better once these envelopes have been opened, because they're just full of air, but they do flatten when you put stuff on top of them. Next we have the two tile sections. So the Croft Manor tiles were split in two between these two sections, so this is like half of the Croft Manor tiles, and you've got the jungle and the underneath that, that's the tomb, and underneath that we have half of the relics as well. They live in that little component of the container, and they get squashed by the map tiles, so it's nice and flat. Same with the other side and the boulder tile. In this bit we have the stretch goal plastic tokens, as well as these little blue tokens. In this container we have the square tokens, so that's like these guys, as well as of course the exit. In this big container in the middle I've got all of the boss cards, so that's for the standard game, as well as the legendary bosses and the T-Rex, as well as the Crypt cards. They all rest on top of there. We have the completed save bag, so that does fit in there. The pin anchor thingies, so you've got a bunch of those, they live in there. And then in this thing down here, this is where the plastic resources live. So they live in this bag, flat on the bottom, to make sure all of this fits snugly. It did take a little bit of convincing the first time, but I think now that it's all in there like that, it goes in pretty nicely. So I put that white thing on top just to keep that bit separated. Put the expansion tray on top of that, then the standard components tray. Then we'll take these guys, Put them on there, as well as the Lara board. And then you've got the instruction manual, campaign book, and the little instruction manual for the expansion as well. And that's how everything fits in the box. So that's really nice. It just means you get all of your game pieces in here, and you can play everything from this one box. Very cool.